some props. And I know that with everyone being home, you don't necessarily have things like a roller or specific props that are, for exercise, but we can do a lot with what you find around the house. So I'm going to be demoing with some different things. One thing that I'd like to use, if you have it, would be a small ball, like a toy ball, just something could be larger than this. You want it to be able to fit like under your low back or between your shoulder blades. They also, I recommend buying these if you can find them, which online you absolutely can. It's a small inflatable ball. So you can fill it with air so it's a round ball, or you can deflate it so it gives you some balance challenges, which is great. It gets you a lot more core work. We'll be using that. If you don't have those, a yoga block is another good option, or a couple of books, or you can fold something up. So here I folded up like a yoga blanket, and that would be a good choice. Also, you could fold up a beach towel or a couple of bath towels, or use a cushion off your sofa would be a good thing. We're looking for something that gives you an elevation through your hips or your shoulders, and then maybe a little instability if that's possible. I think I was just telling someone, one of my clients has used like her daughter's stuffed elephant, so that worked out well for her. So it really depends what you have around. And if you don't have anything, if you just have your mat and yourself here today, that's fine. You can do all these exercises without the props. The props just add extra work in for your core. So we're going to start actually laying on the back, and I think I'm going to use the block first. It's not as comfortable as the ball, but it may be more like what some of you have. And we'll lay down on the back and elevate the hips up, and you'll slide your support, whether it's a towel, a block, a ball, a stuffed elephant, under your sacrum, which is the big triangular bone below your waist near the bottom of your spine. So you should feel that. And usually, even if you use a pad under your head, usually because of a tight chest, you would not use that here. We want to be sure that your neck feels comfortable. The weight is balanced on your shoulders and your shoulder blades. And then from here, we're going to do a little tuck in and arch. So as you tuck, your tail curves up and your waistline presses down. The legs stay in the same plane. And then we're going to arch. You're going to let the tail drift down and the waistline lifts up. So I'm going to take my arms back so you can see my spine on here. So I've increased the arch in my mid to low back. And now we're tucking, we're pulling the waist down, the tail rises. And then as you arch, the tail drops. You'll feel a stretch, or more extension. You'll feel a stretch from your sternum to your navel. This is RJ came to see what we're doing today. And now we flex, curving the tail up. Extra points for doing this with a cat sitting on your stomach or a dog. And then arch here. And then you can continue flexing and arching the spine to get a nice stretch. The elevation of your hips allows you to have a bigger movement through your spine. You're going to feel definitely that you're free. You could also just do this on the ground. And in fact, they do it often in physical therapy like that on a mat. Now for the next thing, I will move him. We're going to rock from side to side. So you're thinking about actually taking your waist as if your waist was part of a cylinder, like a barrel here or a can, right? And you're going to tip one waistline up and the other drops down, and then you're going to rotate to the other side. So I'm really trying to go around my central axis, which would run from like the center of my throat down to the center of the pelvic floor, and spiral the torso, the middle of the body rotates around in a circular pattern. And then I'm going to the other side. It's not actually a knee sway, that you can get something similar with the knee swaying. We're trying to do it with the legs elevated here, and the waist moves from one side. So as one side goes down, the other tips up, and then to the other side. So you're wringing out your waistline here. Ideally, your gaze is up, so you also feel a little bit of a related stretch through the sides of your neck. And you're tipping one pelvic half up while the other goes down. This will help stretch out the area by your sacrum. Then from here, what we'll do is just settle. In fact, lift your hips, take the support out from underneath, and then go down. Notice that you feel more relaxed in that low back area, and maybe also a little elongated through your waistline. So let's put the toy back. Sorry, normally he's not that insistent. Okay, so we're putting the toy back, ball, folded towel, yoga block, books, whatever you have. And then let's fold the knees into your chest for some footwork. We're going into our frog. And this is a more advanced exercise. The back is not fully supported, so you do want to be careful of the height of your legs. So we're going to start, maybe squeeze the legs up towards the ceiling, and then frog back in, the knees opened, the heels come in, they stay together, and reach again, and pull it back. Now, if you want to get more core work, you could take the legs out on a lower diagonal. Just be sure that you're feeling your abs nice and strong, supporting your spine, and that your back isn't arching additionally. So you push your legs out as if you're moving through water, as if you're pushing sand away from you, from your beach chair on a beautiful beach. And then you push out into space, and then you drag the heels back in. If you're on the beach in your mind, you're thinking of pulling the sand in under your heels, under your beach chair. And we do that again. You want to watch that the angle of your legs gives you good work and not a problem. Your back will tell you, if it feels like if it's stiffening and supporting you, that's great. If it's arching and you feel uneasy, you need to take the legs higher. Just do one more. Pull the legs together as they reach out, and then pull them apart. The heels stay glued together. Now soft point with your feet, narrow the legs so they're parallel and squeezing in. So you're touching at the knees, at the inside edges of your feet, maybe part of your thighs. It depends on your structure. Point the feet as if you're sucking a ball up into the arch of each foot, and then reach out. Inhale, glide the legs out, and pull them in. And again, like if your core is getting tired, you'll take the legs higher. If you're warming up and feeling stronger, you could take the legs lower. Whatever angle works for you is what's correct. You go long, really stretch out through the center of the leg. Imagine that each leg is like a hose, like a fire hose, or just a regular garden hose. And the water is streaming through the center of the leg, upper and lower, and out through the center of the arch of the foot, right? Because if you reach too much through your toes, you might cramp. If you reach too much through the heels, you might also hyperextend your knees. So think of finding the reach of the center of your foot coming from the center of each leg. You stretch long, and then you pull the knees in over your chest. Let's just do one more. Lengthen on the inhale, exhale, pull it back. Now flex the feet and reach out through your heels. Stretch long here and pull the knees in. The ankles still stay flexed. So the toes are curling back towards the shins. With flexion through the foot like this, you want to think about pulling the outer edges of the feet back. So the pinky edge of the toes pulls back in towards you, and you're also reaching forward and up through the balls of the big toes. So it's as if the foot was flat, like it was flat on a book or a wall that was moving here. Or like if you were standing on the floor doing squats, you would have sort of the same connection through your feet to the air here as you would to the floor there. Let's pull this in and then extend the legs up to the ceiling. You may want to take them back far enough to get a nice stretch in the back of your thighs and your hamstrings. And then you inhale to point, exhale to flex. And we're working heel ball toe and then toe ball heel. Really articulating through the foot. Got a quarter of the bones in your body and your feet. So we want to work through all those different joints as well as through all the muscles, ligaments here. Now, as you lift the heel, exhaling, try to also drop down through your glute, down through your sits bones to get a bigger stretch in the back line of your legs. Let's just do one more of these. And then we can point and fold the knees in towards the chest, maybe hug them in. And then let's extend the legs back up to the ceiling. So from here, we're going to do a scissor split. So you're going to bring one leg back. I'm going to make it my right. You can do whichever, and the other leg goes forward. We are looking here for a stretch in the hamstring and then also across the hip perhaps. Press the arms into the ground and switch your legs. If you're on a ball or something unstable, You can play with that by either changing how much of your arm is supported on the ground. Right, if the whole arm is down, it's easier. If you bend at the elbows, it's more difficult. Again, that would be if you're on something unstable. And another option could be to have your fingertips down and the elbows off the floor. We're just inhaling for one movement of the legs and exhaling for the next. Try to stretch the leg as you reach it out into space and down, and let the other leg reach up. Stretch as much as you can. If your hamstrings are tight, you might not get the knee all the way straight, but even if you bend it and pull it back, you'll get a lovely stretch in the hamstring. So just go with that. And then we'll bring both legs up to the ceiling. And now from here, a double leg lower lift. Watch the load. You're going to stretch the legs forward and out. Press it away. Hi, RJ. You're being so sweet today. And then lift to come up. And you press the legs out to your working level. You'll feel the abdominal wall start to contract, engaging in, and then exhale to lift the legs up. This is similar to that ab series exercise that I know you all know and love. You might be able to go a little bit further because the hips are elevated, but you might not be able to without the support for your back. So pay attention to your body and go in a range that works for you. Now we're going to add opening and closing of the legs. So we open the legs hip width, maybe 5-6 inches apart, press the legs out. They stay in unison. You close them together, exhale, and bring them up to the ceiling. So we're doing this again, legs apart and then reach out and away. Exhale, close and lift. And let's do 2 more, apart and down. Find what we call your working level. Your body hasn't changed the curvature of the spine with the weight of the legs, no matter where they are. And 1 more, apart. Imagine holding like a ball between your feet and one between your thighs. Then let those balls drop, squeeze the legs tight and lift them up. Now we reverse. The legs go out, pull it open, exhale to lift and close here at the top, and then reach again, stretching it away. Open here, exhale, lift, and then close and do it once more. Reach out, reach down, your level. I feel like my abs starting to shake. My back is still fine. And now from here, we're frogging down for bicycle. I'm going to actually shift off the block and go to a ball because I know it's less stable and will give me more core work. So to be sure it's in the right spot. And now here, having the heels together. And again, this could be done just with your back on the ground. We'll take the right leg up and out, reach long, pull it back in, maybe slide the foot in your mind across the floor, and the other one starts reaching out as that one comes back in. Now, because I'm on the ball, if I wanted to challenge my core and my nervous system, I could take the hands up, or I could even try to do it with the arms up in the air, which is hard with like an asymmetrical movement. So the body might start to shift and you have to keep pulling it back to center as your balance is lost and then regained. If you're on something stable, it doesn't really matter where the arms are, except to the fact that if you press into the ground with your arms, you might feel more of your upper abdominals. Let's reverse. Go out low and kick the leg up in the air. The other one slides forward as that one comes in. Now, hopefully with hips elevated, you're having a chance to open the hip as you stretch out along the mat. I did feel the cat there, but I didn't kick him. That was good. And then we'll lift the legs up to the ceiling. Good. Fold the knees into your chest, just in case you went a little too big on the movement. It might feel good for your back to do this. Now, arms at your side, and we'll take the legs up again for a side split, a straddle. So rotate the legs externally. Both legs go out sideways. Open the inner thighs, feel that stretch, and then exhale, Pull the legs together, close them up at the top, and we do that again. So open the legs here, reach out, stretching, and exhale and pull the legs together again. Let's do that twice more. Inhale to reach, to stretch, and exhale. Try to work from your upper inner thighs to close and not from your feet. And then again, the upper outer thighs drag the legs apart. The inner thighs pull them together. Now alternating the legs. So leave one leg up in the air. This is really hard on a ball. So you would take it out only as far as you could go and then bring it back up without, of course, falling off the ball. So what happens when you're on a ball or something unstable like that is that you've got to work harder through the opposite obliques to really press down against the weight and movement of your leg. It's a little bit like what happens in corkscrew. We have the legs in the air and we're circling the legs and trying to keep the pelvis level, only the ball adds instability to add to your core work. And then you stretch it out. So even if you don't have a ball today, try this sometime. And again, I really recommend the small inflatable balls. They usually come with a peg that you can put in so you can deflate them for travel, back, when we start traveling again. And then we're still alternating one leg out to the side and not letting the other leg move sideways away from it for a counterbalance. As one leg goes out, the other leg has to stay right up to the ceiling, like it's stuck on the ceiling for you. Getting also a lot of press through my arms to help stabilize. And then we'll fold the knees in. And now let's just take a stretch. So we'll take your right leg forward, down the mat. If you're elevated, you're going to feel a stretch across the hip. You can also then take your right arm back, just stretch that side out. And some people prefer to have the left knee pulled into their chest, or you could also take the foot to the ground with the knee bent, kind of just see which gives you a better stretch and feels better in your back. If your back tends to be too arched here, usually better to pull the other knee in close. Reaching out through the arm and out through the leg on the same side will give you a nice stretch into your lat and also help open up your hips. If you're not feeling it enough, maybe you need to elevate what's underneath you. So if you're on a yoga block, you could turn it to the next higher place, or you could add an extra towel. Let's pull that leg back, bring the arm back, and then stretch out the left side so the left leg goes forward. And then the left arm will go back. Yawn and open here, stretch it out. Just enjoy the stretch that you're feeling. Of course, our animals don't have to do stretches. They tend to do their stretches throughout their day. Good advice. You might think about that at your next stint at your desk. And then if that felt fine for you, you could try taking both legs forward and both arms back. Again, with the hips elevated, you want to be sure your back is happy with that. It may depend on the position of the ball. And then we'll bring the legs back in, the hands down. All right, and then from here, let's just lift up off the ball, lay down, and then notice how much more relaxed and open your back feels. It's true for me, hopefully it's true for you. We're gonna come up now to use the ball or a little prop here under your heels. Ideally, I'd love it to be something that was mobile, like a ball, or you could even take a roller across under your heels here. If you're using the ball or your yoga block or your books, you may need to cross at the ankle. So you'll take the support under the Achilles so the edge of the heel hangs out past your support, cross the other leg on top of it, and let's sit upright and then stretch forward, take a stretch here. Bring your hands to your feet or down your legs. Fold over your legs, reach out long. Feel the stretch in the back line of your body. Now you can release the arms and start to come back, lift the tail, push the legs away. If you're using a ball, try to roll it away from you, go all the way down to the ground, and then reach the arms back and take a nice stretch here through the lats, through the abs. You'll feel a lot of lengthening in your waist. Bring the arms up, lift head, neck, shoulders, exhale, It's a little harder to do that, right? If the back of your thighs are not supported on the ground. So having the hips elevated gives you more challenge for your core here, whether it's on something stable or not. And then as you go back, try to push out through your legs as if I'm trying to roll the ball off the end of my mat. Like you maybe do the same thing, and then yawn your body open, take the stretch. Let's do it again. If your ankles are crossed, press the legs together, come up, dive forward. If you need hands to your thighs, that's fine. If you want a TheraBand around your feet, that is another option to assist. And then let's come upright, recross the ankles. The ball should be centered in line with your sternum, navel, pubic bone, right down your central axis. And then stretch forward again here, diving over, let the head hang. Shoulders fall down your back, reach back. And now we'll start to roll it back. Keep the body low. You're going to push out through your legs, lengthening them away from you. Bring your spine down, centered on your mat. Stretch the arms back and reach long. And then we'll bring the arms up to lift and dive forward. Exhale, coming up. And then round here. Shoulders back, collarbones easy. Blades slide down your back. And then let's start to bring it back again. Coming down, lengthening out. And stretch the arms back, full reach. We'll do one more. Exhale, remember where you need it. So as you pick up the rib cage, you want the exhale to start right before. You absolutely need that extra power boost coming over. Dive, stretch it out. And then let's come on back up. And we're going to cross the legs. And here, if you have a ball or a roller, you would take it in front of you. Otherwise, just slide your hands along your mat. So you'll lightly rest your hands on the ball, on the roller, and otherwise just on the floor. I'll just do that on the mat first. So you look down and you dive your head down, stretch out your spine again here. With the legs crossed like this, you'll get a bigger stretch through the inner thighs. Dive low and over and then press to the ground as you lift your back, low back, mid back, upper back, chest. And do that again. So looking down and diving forward. You don't let your shoulders go up by your ears. You keep your shoulders down your back. And then you pull it on up here. Now, if you have a regular ball, you could just take your hands like stack on top or side by side if it's a larger one. Lightly press down with the arms to connect into your core and then look down and allow the ball to roll under your wrist, under your forearms, up towards your elbows as you dive down, and then you press into the ball. As you come, actually mine's skidding. And then we pull up, and then let's go again, rolling out. The reason it's nice to use a ball like this is that it teaches your spine about working sequentially. So the spine rolls out just like the ball is rolling forward. And then as you press into it, the rolling of the ball assures that you lift the back a little bit at a time. Let's recross the ankles. So you're doing in the opposite folds of your legs. And again here, you can slide the hands forward, just down the mat. And we look down and we dive here, stretching it out. It's your spine stretch that we've been doing in class every week, probably ever since you started Pilates, which is having that connection to the ground, gives you better feedback into your spine. And let's do two more. So you look down, hang your head, the head leads the neck, then the upper back, then the mid back, then the low back, lengthen it out, stretch here, and then draw it back and up. Coming upright, chest rises, and let's do that one more time. Out and over. Now, actually, if this was hard for you, I should have said, if it was hard for you to sit in this position, you can always like sit on a cushion or a folded towel to elevate your hips, and that will help you drop the knees open and get a bigger stretch as you move and more mobility in your body. All right, so now we're going to take the ball or the block or the towel or the cushion behind your back, right in between the shoulder blades. So we'll lean back, place the ball there. You know what? And this one I know is going to slip, so I'm going to get rid of it and use the block. So then you want to lay back. The block would be somewhere near the tip of the blades. Support your head with your hand. The block, the ball, the towel, whatever, your support there. And what we'll do here is use the elevation here to allow you to go back into extension. Your head is supported by your hands, the elbows wing out. And then curl up, chin to chest, pull the elbows together and down and rock forward. Look down at your navel, pull your elbows in and down towards the navel here, and then arching back again. This will help you with your swans, with your swimming, with any exercise that involves upper back extension. And of course, you can feel this when you hang back and drop the elbows, you really open your chest. Pull forward and up. And then we take it back again. You could also, if you own a roller, that could be across the body here at the right spot to get the arch that you want in your back. If it's too much arch, bring the support higher up by your shoulders. If it's not enough, take it a little closer towards your waist. And then we're going to arch back again, stretch your throat, let the elbows fall and open, hopefully equally on the two sides. That's something we're looking for the balance and the even stretch across the pecs, coming up, pull from your core, elbows in, and we'll just do one more like that. So arching back, lay back here, and then exhale, bring it up, pull it forward, look down and in at the navel. Hands to your legs, come up to sitting. Good. So from here, let's go onto the ball again. And actually, no, we're going to take the ball or the block and take it between the edges of your feet for a jackknife. So you slide your hips forward. You can lay down onto your back, work your way down. You want to squeeze the toy here. It's going to help you keep some work through the inner line of your legs. Pull the knees in, lift that up to the ceiling. And you want to hold it. I think actually I'm going to try to hold it here between the center of my arches. So it becomes a bit of a game. Like, can you hold it and not drop it on your head? So this is a good reason to use something light that won't injure you if you do lift it or drop it by mistake. Take the legs out to your working level. We're going to bring the legs and the toy up and over to lift your hips and balance on your shoulders, and then bring it on down. So by holding something like that between your legs, you can see if you're working equally on the two sides, because if it starts to shift and roll, you're using one side, one leg more intensely than the other. And take it out to your working level. You can push down into your arms to bring the hips up. Exhale as you rise. The legs low makes it easier. Bringing the legs higher up gives you more load away from center. And then bring yourself down. Keep pressing through your arms. Your gaze stays up as you pull the body down here. Now, if the lift is still something that's hard for you, elevate your hips. You could use a cushion. You could use one of these toys, to get your hips up and start the movement that lift. Let's do that again. So pushing the ground down as you come up. Try to lift your tailbone up in the air. And your eyes stay up. Really don't follow your legs forward with your gaze. Keep your gaze in the same place. As the legs recede away from your overhead view, you just still keep your neck long, front, back, and side. We'll do one more of these. Pushing down to come up, lift your hips, extend the legs up higher. Try to keep whatever you're holding steady as you go up and down. Get a nice stretch into your back as your abs release you down. And then let's take hold of your toy, bend your knees into your chest. We're going into the ab series here. So the block works nicely, so would a ball. So would, a child's toy or a balled up cushion. We're going to just press into the toy here. You want the elbows wide, a straight line from one elbow to the other. Come to your upward curl, look down at your belly, pull your knees into your chest. So we're doing the single leg stretch first. The right leg goes forward, the left leg stays in. Your gaze is down on your navel. You switch your legs and switch again. This is harder in a way because you're not allowing your hands to come in and connect to the shins. You could always do our traditional version if you prefer. This takes more upper abs to hold you here lifted off the ground. Let's end with the left leg in, pull the right one in, and lay yourself down. Turn your head one side to the other. You can even lower your feet and let your knees rock away from your gaze. Now, I don't know if you felt this, but when you're holding the ball or the block or the toy, right, let's just practice that while you're down. So hold it at either end and squeeze in and see if you can feel that connection from your tricep to your lat, which is like the muscle here that's the back of the armpit and goes all the way down towards your tailbone. And your serratus comes in under here, like wrapping around under the side of the chest, and it connects into your external obliques. So when you're squeezing the toy from both sides, you should feel a firming up from your arms into your upper abdominals. We're looking for that in this exercise to assist us. So let's try this again. We're doing a double leg stretch here with a leg hinge. So let's come up, upper curl. See if you can balance on the tip of your blades. Pull your legs in, tabletop. Extend the toy out with your hands on top of your shins. Look at your abs. And as we stretch the arms and legs up and away from center, you reach and then you pull the toy, the prop down on your shins, reach the legs and the arms away, and then pull everything back. Your gaze stays down. Press again. We're just doing 2 more. Find your working level, right? If too low is not right for you, the arms and legs can go straight up, and then just bring them straight down. Rest your head down. Relax your legs on the ground. And again, sway your knees, turn your head, release your neck. Next for scissors. Again, we're still holding the block in your hand, the toy in your hand, the ball in your hand, the cushion, whatever you have. And we're pulling the legs in, upper curl, look into your abs, extend both legs up and lift your arms up, hold that toy. And we're going to bring the right leg and tap it into the toy and then switch the legs, tap twice. And again. Now you want to watch that you're not bringing the toy to the leg and bouncing that. The goal is to hold the arms steady, the upper body steady, and move the leg. One at a time. This one, it's more challenging to keep the gaze down. You always want to look up at your feet. Try to resist that. We'll do one more. And then rest down. Fold the legs in. Roll your head on the mat. All right, now, double leg lower lift. This time we had done it with the hips elevated. We're now doing it with the hips down, but holding something between your legs. So take it between the edges of your feet. Lift the legs up to the ceiling. If it feels like it's not going to be steady for you, you can just do it without any toy at all. But come to your upper curl. Find the lift of the head. Support your head with your hands. And then you stretch the legs out and away. Squeeze in. You're going to firm up the inside line of your legs. Many of us tend to be weak there and tight and super strong on the outer legs, particularly the thigh. And we'll find that ends up like tightening up our IT bands, which means that often our legs don't stay in good alignment, and that can have bad repercussions for our knees, for our ankles, for even our whole alignment throughout the whole body up to the head. So we push it out, we find our working level. That's the place where you feel your abs really screaming, engaging, but the back is still in its neutral position. And one more. If you really squeeze in, you might find your leg muscle starting to shake. And then fold on in, lay it down. We're getting ready for the last one, the elbow to knee variation, holding the ball, the block, your toy, right? So we're going to hold that between our hands and come up to the upper curl, fold both knees into the chest. As you take the toy over to the right to hip height, Close to the body, you stretch the left leg forward. As you switch your legs, you bring your toy up and over your knees and down on the other side. So we're going to switch here, keeping the opposite hip grounded as you rotate the upper body. Look down and in towards your wrist, the lower wrist. As you move, the legs shoot straight out of the socket and pull straight in on that same line. We'll do one more set. Tipping the torso, it's flexion plus rotation through the upper body. Come center and rest down. That's great. You did really well there. Okay, so now let's come up and do some side work. So we'll lift to come upright. And here, like you did, just sit upright for a second. And just check your breathing. So taking your hands to the side of your rib cage, take a deep breath in and see how much you can inflate the ribs sideways. So breathing in here. And exhale the air out and feel the ribs knit in and down. So this is sort of the ribs here, like they form like a curtain. So they come out in a semicircle curve. You can feel it if you take your hand to your sternum. You can go down and you feel the curve of the rib going out and to the side and around to the bottom, right? So it has like a drape right here. And when you take your hands into the side of your body, either back of the hands or the palms, whatever feels comfortable for you, you want to feel that you can inhale and the ribs move sideways. And exhale, pull them in. If you really want to accentuate that movement, think of holding your abdominal wall tight as you breathe in so that you really get the expansion through the rib cage. And then exhale, pull them in as the air leaves. So do that once more, inflate. And just sort of notice like where that movement occurs. So now we're going to lay on your side facing the screen, and we'll take the ball or a cushion underneath your rib cage, not all the way up in the armpit, but sort of from the bra line up, so at the side of your chest. We'll lay down here. And this means that you're propped up on your elbow. I'm going to move back actually. And then from here, pull that bottom elbow in a little bit. Pick up your top leg, flexing the foot. More difficult, both hands to your head. If you want the extra support for stability, take your hand down in front of your rib cage. So we pick up that leg, we flex the foot, and we bring it forward, double pulse, 1, 2. Point the foot, take it back, open it up, and pulse 1 and 2. Flex to go forward, bottom leg presses into the ground, point and reach it back. So if you're on something unstable like a ball, you're going to find it much more difficult to hold your body still. That will increase the amount of feedback you get to help you really increase the amount of core work that you're using. Pull the leg back to center, we lower, we rotate. Point the foot and kick the leg up, flex the foot and bring it down. Point to lift, flex and close it. Point up, drag the legs apart, and then flex, bring them down. Now reverse. Leg and external rotation, flex the foot to kick it high, point and stretch it down. Flex and you lift, you're pulling the head away from the shoulders and vice versa. Use the lowering of the leg to stretch the waist long, really push it out. Now développé, we bend the knee up to the ceiling, we slide the foot in, knee to armpit, foot to the sky, flex and bring it down. Drag it in here, hold it in, lift it up, flex and press it out. Let's do one more. And then we reverse. Keep the leg straight, the foot flex, kick it up, point the foot, bend the knee, slide the leg down, reach it long, flex and you lift, point, bend, exhale all the way down, stretch it out, flex and bring it up, point, bend, and exhale, push it all the way down and reach to the end. And then we'll lift the leg up and rond de jambe, pull the leg forward, exhale up, back, stretch here. Try not to lean forward with the torso. Much harder with a ball underneath your ribs and much harder with both hands up at your head. Stretch it away. Try to keep the body still and quiet on your side seam. And one more. The longer you make your torso, the more stability you can find. And then let's reverse. Take it back. Rotate, open it up, forward, around, and through center again. So you reach back and you circle, lift here, press your bottom leg into the ground. And one more time. And of course, you could have been doing this without anything under your ribs. And then from here, figure four. So let's bend the top knee, bring the foot in front of the other hip, pull that leg towards you and the knee away. We're going to bring the bottom leg up as high as it goes and then bring it to the ground. Lift it here. Try to stay on your sideline. Don't lean back. It'll be tempting to drop back onto your butt cheek. Lift to bring it high and then bring it down. Now we're going to lift it up, hold it there, and circle the leg around it up. 1 and 2 and 3. Lift it up, reverse your circles. 1 and 2 and 3. Bring it up and lower it down. Okay, and then come on up. Now here, take your toy aside and lay on your back, and I want you to feel if you can see a difference in the amount of lung capacity you have on the side that you were laying on top of the ball and the other side. So just breathe in completely and exhale it out. And 2 more breaths like that. So notice what you feel. What I feel is that I've got a lot more capacity to inflate my lung on that left side that I was laying on. The ball pressing into it definitely opened me up. It really opened the muscles, the intercostals between the ribs. And that way, when the rib cage is able to move, the lung can more fully expand and then also more fully contract, right? So just notice too, you get a lot more air in, but can you also think that maybe it's a more thorough exhale? So hopefully you found that. And again, if you don't have the best option for something to lay on, when you find one, then you can try it again. But hopefully even on the towel, even on anything that gave you some support here, you felt a difference, which was one of the points of doing it. All right, so let's roll up, come up to sitting, and let's do the other side. We need to finish up this side to balance you out before you go on to the next thing on your day. Legs forward, pull that supporting elbow in towards your armpits. You firm up the inside line that's underneath you, and then you can bring your hands up or down, your choice. So we pick up the top leg, flex the foot, kick it forward, double pulse, 1, 2. Point the foot, take it back, and open and stretch, 1, 2 there. Flex to bring it forward, double beat. Point to stretch it back, lengthen, and press. One more time. Sweep it back, hip opens, try not to lean your body forward. Come back to center, and we rotate, externally rotate. Point, the leg lifts up, flex, and the leg reaches down. Point to go high, flex to go low. One more point, lift, and flex down. The neck should be long, front, back, and side. Reverse, flex up, point, stretch it away. Flex and you lift, point and lengthen it down. One more, flexing up, and point down for développé. You bend the knee goes up to the ceiling, not to the floor. Knee in, foot up, flex and lengthen, heel kisses heel. Drag it in. Use your hands to pull the neck long away from the rest of your spine. And then let's pull it in, extend, lift, and stretch it out. Now reverse. Lift the leg with a straight leg, flexed foot, point, bend, skate it down the bottom leg, shoot it out long out of the socket, feel your waist lengthen, lift, point, bend, exhale, give it a slight drag through your head, move it away from your foot. Lift again, point, bend, and exhale all the way forward, rond de jambe, forward, up, back, around, and through center. Do it again. You'll feel a lot of work into the glute to support that leg moving behind you. Bottom leg has to press into the ground. Let's reverse. Back, open it forward, around, and close. 2 more here. Support from your core, reach long through your leg and reach long in the opposite direction with your head. All right, and then figure 4, last exercise. Leg in front of the thigh. Let's bring the bottom leg up and then down. Lift and then lower. Lift high and then bring it down. We're going to lift and hold it up and circle around 1 and 2 and 3. Lift it up, reverse, circle around and lift up. Inner thigh picks the leg up. Lift it up last time, lower it down. And then we'll take the support out from underneath, lay on your back, and let's see if this side now can breathe a little more fully, a little more completely. So breathe in and out. Hopefully you can feel a different expansion into the side that we were just balanced on. So for me, it was my right. And definitely, yes, there's more air going into the lung and out of the lung. All right, Johnny, I kept you a little late. Hope that worked out okay for you. We're just a minute past. So thank you so much. Still holding class tomorrow. If you can't make it because you're watching the inauguration, I get it. Just watch it on YouTube. And I'll see you soon.